All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well. So today we are going to stay on the Daybells because 3 days ago, on January 30th, was supposed to be the big day. The day that law enforcement who had tracked them to Hawaii, even though pretty much everyone in their family is dead and their kids are missing, they went to Hawaii. All right. Law enforcement tracks them down there last weekend and says, yeah, your kids are missing. Okay? And that's bad. And we are going to give you until Thursday. And here's a court order that you need to produce your kids by Thursday. And then Thursday came and went, and nothing happened. Law enforcement did not do anything. I kept thinking on Thursday I was going to see news stories like the Daybells killed themselves, or the Daybells are arrested, or the Daybells flee in a banana boat. And there was like one news story late in the day that was like, the deadline has been missed and now they possibly, maybe are going to be held in contempt of court. People go to jail for leaving their kid in a hot car for a few minutes. You know, why are they not arrested? The law enforcement strategy on this one is starting to look more and more ridiculous. Surely there is a charge associated with having a missing autistic 7-year-old and a 16-year-old girl that no one has seen. There has to be. And so I guess now we wait to see what's going to happen. Surely they're going to be arrested, though, right? Also, I found someone posted a really in-depth timeline on my last video that was done by eastidahonews.com. And so I went through that. It's really detailed. So I had done a bare bones timeline on my last video, but here is a more detailed one. So late 2018, Lori is married. We'll get to know Lori and Chad a little bit better too. So late 2018, Lori is married to her fourth husband, Charles. Fourth husband. How special. And Charles' family around that time had started, there were whisperings like, this bitch is getting pretty out there with the whole religious thing. You know, everyone was a little bit worried, like, what's going on with Lori? Okay? And Lori started to appear on these podcasts, like Doomsday Prepper Mormon podcasts. It was Prepare a People podcast network, and the podcast was Time to Warrior Up. So she's hitting the Warrior Up, dystopian, prepper, Mormon podcast network. I think right as this, she thinks she's a god. So she's got this God complex. She thinks that Jesus is coming back in 2020 or in July of 2020. And her job right now is to prepare and gather the chosen people. And then she's going to guide them to the New Jerusalem or something like that. I guess it really doesn't matter if that's something like that, right? So she's doing these podcasts. I think Charles, her husband, is like, what is going on with my wife type of thing. He was not into the whole doomsday cultist prepper thing with her. And so she's on the new life journey of this, and Chad, who's kind of an author, he publishes most of his own books, but he's published 25 doomsday bioterrorism Mormon novels where everything's going to shit and then a badass Mormon, I think, saves the day. And so he's doing the same podcast network, and Lori and Chad run into each other. And I'm sure, they're both on this kick of like, yeah, let's prepare the people, time to warrior up, God, cult, the whole thing. It's probably felt very exciting. And then all of a sudden, old Charles, that's not into this whole new thing that she's into, probably seems a lot less exciting. 2 months after they appear on the Time to Warrior Up podcast, Charles files for divorce. So this is early, like I said, this is February 2019, so about a year ago. Charles files for divorce. And in the divorce, he says, like I said, that Lori thinks she's a god. Has all these theories about preparing the war years and God knows what. And that she's just gone in this total nutso direction. And that he also said in it that he thought that if she thought he was going to stop her in this plan to prepare the people for the New Jerusalem, that she would kill him. He files that during the divorce process. What do they call it? During the proceedings, she disappears for nearly 2 months, leaves the kids. Other people take care of her, take care of the kids. She just leaves. At some point, though, that divorce is pulled off the table. Charles pulls it off and says, you know what? We're going to work it out. Everything's good. Okay? So then in June of 2019, Lori's niece files for divorce. And her husband, Brandon, in the divorce, I guess his response to the divorce that his wife filed, said something to the effect of, our marriage was going good, everything was going great, and then recently she's totally bought into this doomsday cult bizarre thing that her Aunt Lori is into. So that's, I think, the first time that the word cult was used, and in an official thing. So he's like, yeah, everything was going good, and then she starts hanging out with her aunt, who's into the Warrior Prepare podcast network, and now the shit hits the fan. Okay? So that divorce, that's in June. In July, Lori's brother shoots and kills Charles. And it was deemed self-defense. I don't know if we'll ever know if it really was self-defense. Okay, so that was in July. August, not much happens. And then in October of 2019, August, not much happens. September is the last time the kids were seen. The 7-year-old is unenrolled, and the 16-year-old, I don't think, was ever even enrolled in school. So September is the last time the kids are seen. Early October, Brandon, who was married to Lori's niece, who I think if the divorce had gone through or it was still going through, I don't know, Brandon's walking around, and a truck that used to be owned by Charles, who is dead because of Lori's brother shot and killed him, Charles' old truck drives by Brandon. This is in October. Charles has been dead since July. Charles' old truck drives by Brandon, and someone shoots at him from the truck. Okay. And then, so that's October 2nd. And then later in October, Chad's wife, Tammy, dies, which he saw coming because he has a visionary gift. That's coming from Chad. He says, what does he call it? Yeah, visionary gift. So Chad's on his little visionary quest, tells his friend, I'm going to lose Tammy. I'm so broken up about it. And then Tammy dies. That's chalked up to natural causes, which they're looking more into that. And then 2 weeks after Tammy dies, because as we know, Lori is recently single after her brother shot and killed her fourth husband. 2 weeks after Tammy, Chad's wife, dies that he had seen in his vision quest, they get married. Lori and Chad are now the podcast duo. Time to warrior up and get married, baby, because I love you. So they get married. Then in November, the law enforcement come and do a welfare check. Not sure why they weren't arrested at that point. They do a welfare check. The kids are nowhere to be found. They think Lori either knows what happened to them or knows where they are and it just isn't saying. The next day, Lori, after the welfare check, Lori and Chad go to Hawaii. Okay. Then this past weekend, the law enforcement track them down to Hawaii and say, your kids are still missing, but here is a court order, the big court order. You get till Thursday, and then, like I said, Thursday came and went, and absolutely nothing happened, and law enforcement now is just like, all right, well, that didn't work. And now here we are on February 3rd, just waiting to see what's going to happen to these people. Totally unbelievable, totally interesting. Also, so we'll wait and see what happens on that one. Also, Fotis is dead. He's gone, and what a sad situation that whole thing is. And Fotis will be remembered from the Inside Edition footage, drone footage of paramedics pumping him like a dead fish in the driveway of his mansion. And he has a new girlfriend, or he did have a new girlfriend, and she got home, I think, at some point during the whole thing. Or you can see her in the drone footage, like, run up, notice what's going on, and then, like, almost collapse and either yell, like, Fotis, or no, or something. And it blows my mind. How did Fotis, at that point in his life, get a new girlfriend? It's like people just really don't care what... I picture his new girlfriend at brunch in Connecticut with her friends, and they're like, so, tell us about your new boyfriend, Fotis. And she's like, well, he's on trial for murdering the mother of his kids, and he just got out of a civil lawsuit with his in-laws. He owes them millions, and his ex got all wrapped up in that case with him, so she's on trial for murder too, so her life is probably over. Also, his lawyer got kind of roped in and has a murder charge too. He is on house arrest, so we can't do anything. But other than that, it's going really good. I think that this could be the one. It just feels right. It just feels safe, you know. But he's dead, and it's a sad one. But anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. We are going to keep following the Daybell saga. I hope you're doing well. I love you all. Why? Steven, why? Last question.